Hello, my name is Armando and I'm a naturalist here at Beaver Lake Nature Center. Happy Earth Day, everybody. This year for Earth Day, we want to talk a little bit about the zero waste movement. So the zero waste movement is a movement all about sustainability, trying to reduce the amount of waste that we are sending into the landfill and trying to be a little bit kinder to the environment. So the zero waste movement kind of gained popularity in around 2009 when Bea Johnson created a blog called The Zero Waste Home. And then in 2013, she wrote a book called The Zero Waste Home, The Ultimate Guide to Simplifying Your Life by Reducing Your Waste. Since then, the sustainability movement has blossomed into this humongous industry. In this book, she talks about the 5 R's of zero waste living. It is refuse, reduce, reuse, recycle, and rot. So in this video, we're going to go a little bit in depth about those 5 R's and talk about how we can promote a more sustainable lifestyle. So first, let's talk about refuse. So refuse basically is just what it says. Refuse things you don't need. Nowadays, it's very common to get a free gift with purchase or get, oh, here is a bag or a mug with our brand on it for advertising purposes. If you don't need it, just say no thank you. Refuse things that you don't need and to try to reduce the amount of things coming in, unnecessary items coming into your life, which then leads into reduce. So reduce is getting rid of things you don't need and reducing the amount of stuff coming into your home that you're not going to use. For me personally, I am prone to collecting things like backpacks and camping gear that I don't actually need but really, really want. So for me, it's kind of refocusing on what I actually need when I go camping and the gear that I need, and donating or selling or giving away the items that I don't need anymore so they can find another home somewhere else. The next R we're going to talk about is reuse. So the reuse R is a huge industry in and of itself. Greenwashing is a very common practice nowadays in a lot of companies, saying that, oh, this will make your life more sustainable. This will make your life more eco-friendly. Purchasing all of these items in order to be more green or sustainable is actually doing quite the opposite. A lot of these items need to be created using probably finite materials of some sort, like fossil fuels. So your best bet is to try and find something in your home that you already have and try to reuse it for that purpose. A lot of us nowadays have reusable water bottles, mugs, or cans that we can use in order to actually stop the amount of single-use plastic in form of water bottles or coffee cups that we use every day. If you're going to get one of these, or if you already have one of these, try and go for one that's stainless steel or glass because they won't impart flavors, just so you only need to carry around one item rather than having one separate thing for water, one separate thing for coffee or tea or whatever you like to drink. I would also go with stainless steel because it's harder to break than glass. I have been known to break a couple of glassware that I've had before, so try and go for stainless steel. I'm sure that if you are prone to ordering takeout, you might have a lot of different plastic containers from those restaurants as well. You can definitely reuse those too. Plastic containers have a variety of uses that we can use, and you don't need to go ahead and purchase, say, a metal box or a glass one just because you want to be more eco-friendly. Just reuse the ones you have already. If you don't want to store food because of the possibility of BPA, even though it might say BPA free, you can use it for dry storage, like storing dried beans, grains, pasta, rice, all that fun stuff. Or you can use it to organize other things. Say you have a bunch of extra cords that you do need but are kind of just laying around. Use a plastic container to put those cords in, and you have it nicely organized in a little container, and you know where everything is. So try and come up with other ways to reuse items and kind of upcycle them in ways that you will benefit from. Next, let's talk about recycle. Now, this is going to sound counterintuitive, but our goal in the zero waste movement is to try and recycle less. Basically, that means We're already refusing things we don't need, we're reducing the amount of things that we do need, and we're trying to reuse what we do have. So by that logic, we don't need to really recycle as much. If you have to get rid of something, maybe donating it to a thrift store or seeing if someone else can use it would be probably the way to go. But if you can't find a second home for it, then you can go ahead and recycle. But the first thing you need to do is when you purchase something is make sure that the container itself is reusable and the package is either compostable or easily recyclable. So like I said, the last thing we want to do is recycle. So try and go for something that's easily reusable or compostable. The last R I want to talk about is rot, which basically means compost. We want things that are easily compostable, something that will benefit nature when we put back that material. So think about packaging. Things are generally packaged nowadays, usually with plastic. Even this has a little plastic window there, but the rest of it is cardboard and easily compostable. So we want to look for packaging that we can easily throw in a compost. And instead of throwing away anything like vegetable scraps into landfill garbage, we can throw that into a compost as well. Now, for us here, if you are able to compost in your backyard, that's great. If you aren't, definitely check out OCRA, the Onondaga County Resource Recovery Agency. They do have a couple of composting sites where you can purchase an annual membership, basically. It's $25 for the entire year, and you can drop off your compost at any time throughout the entire year. That could also include yard waste. So definitely check that out. And you could also check out okra.org, where you can find out what materials are recyclable in our area as well. So a point I want to make about zero waste is that no one can truly be zero waste without a total change to the current systems we have in place. So zero waste, basically, you're trying to reduce the amount of single-use plastics and fossil fuels to zero. You don't want to be using any of those types of finite resources. Unfortunately for us, a lot of the materials that we use or products that we buy are shipped in from a distance, so that could potentially mean you're using a lot of, say, gas and gasoline and such, which is contributing a lot of CO2 into the environment, so that you're using up finite resources there. Or maybe some things are shipped overseas, and that's even more fuel used for that. So unfortunately, we can never be truly zero waste. Now, you might try and live your life as dedicated as possible to purchasing things that are locally made or handmade or just within a short distance. But unfortunately, a lot of those products might still be shipped in, and we don't truly know how far away that those items are shipped in. So unfortunately, none of us can truly be zero waste, but it is the potential goal. So if you have any comments or questions about zero waste or sustainable living, leave them down below. Or if you yourself have tips of how to live a more sustainable lifestyle, also leave them down below. So again, happy Earth Day, and thank you so much for joining us today. Have a great rest of your day.